Hello, everybody out there, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger comic book review. Good news, bad news. Good news is we actually have our physical books for this episode. Bad news is we're recording this on Wednesday night going into Thursday. You guys are going to probably be seeing this Thursday morning. It's already technically Thursday morning because we're past 12 midnight. But fingers crossed. I mean, we did get the email on Wednesday that our books were shipped. Let's see how that goes this weekend. Yes, shall we? Other than that, no other news. Look forward to. I'll plug a few things at the end of the show. But anyway, the books in this review were released on
January 27, 2016, the last week of January.
That's right. We're going into February. So let's get into it.
And we're going to start off digitally. Monstress, issue number 3, I believe.
I really enjoyed this book. I'm enjoying it. It was recommended to me by several people, and I haven't had a problem with this book yet. Girl is possessed by this dark demon that wants to take her over. Other people want to get her. There's this woman that she really destroyed in issue 2 who now wants revenge on her. She has this little girl who's kind of like a fox, like a composite. It's like an anime mixed with comics. It's a really great book. And this is more of an enjoyment / guilty read than review purposes. I just really want to let you guys know about Monstress because it's a really, really good book. There was another book that will not be in this week's review. I just want to throw that out there. Something Kat and Jay recommended for me on the Frontline Live.
Cry Havoc.
Yes, thank you. Cry Havoc issue 1. That will be next episode's book. I will be reviewing it next episode. I did start looking at it, but I'm on a very tight schedule right now doing a lot of other things. So next week, absolutely next episode, I will be covering that book. Monstress is excellent, though. Definitely check it out.
HellBoy Winter Special, issue number 16.
This was a fun book. It has nothing to do with anything. It's like a winter special, like it says. It has a bunch of different stories from HellBoy in it. There's a hilarious thing with what Mike would like, Lobster Johnson on the last page.
Oh, dear
Which
Lord.
was hilarious because he wants justice, and it's all sold out. It was hilarious. It was a hilarious final comic. If you're a fan of HellBoy, best thing I can say is Mike Mignola does the work in it. The art's the same as always, so if you like HellBoy, you're going to love this winter special, and that's really all I could say about it. Excellent read, though. I really enjoyed it.
Mirror's Edge Exordium? Yeah, issue number 5 of 6.
Oh, man, I'm so glad I finally read this book. I've been wanting to read it for 2 weeks, and now, actually, in 2 episodes, I'll be reviewing the last book in the series. So, Dojin knows who has the serum now, and he wants Faith to steal it. And if she doesn't, he's going to burn her mother's picture, and basically, she's going to have a hit on her. However, what's his name? The guy she works for, Church? No, not Church. Whatever his name is, finds out that she might be working for Dojin. He's like, if you're working for him, get out of here. I don't want you in my facility anymore if you're going to deal with the likes of him. So Faith leaves and is stuck with the hard decision of does she steal it or does she leave it? And she has one friend, a really close friend that she can confide in. He says no matter what, he's going to be her friend, and it means a lot to her. So in the end, she does end up taking the serum. That's a bit of a spoiler, but now she has to get it back to Dojin, and it ends with her running away with the serum. And she stole it from the woman who she was friends with, and I can't remember her name. But now she's being chased by her. So now, is she going to be able to outrun her? Is she going to get caught? Who knows? I'm really excited for this last issue, and I'm really excited for the new game coming out. And I'm hopefully going to be getting the first game to just play it to at least have a little background in the game.
Alright, next on mine. Atomic Robo, issue number 5. This is actually the last issue of Atomic Robo. And
Ever?
I don't know, because it just said the end. I'm really sad to see this go because I really had an enjoyable time reading this. Basically, Atomic Robo, just to make this short, he goes into the system to save about these titans that are invading the islands. So he tries to find things to shut them down, but they're all in German. So he has to try to understand what they are. And from the cover, we see this huge, gigantic skeleton-like creature in a body suit that fights off against him. And it was a really intense fight, and it was really close. I thought he was at the brink of dying, Atomic Robo, because he died before, from what I read in the first 2-3 issues when we found out he was dead, and then came back. But all in all, I don't want to give too much away. It was a really great read. Definitely get it for trade paperback, and hopefully maybe we'll see Atomic Robo again sometime in the future, because I really enjoyed the book of that. A new story arc begins in Bloodshot Reborn, issue number 10. Now, I thought that this issue was going to have the Analog Man for some reason, but I don't think it's coming yet. Unless maybe I missed it.
Might be on the way.
But anyway, what it talks about, this is like in the future where Bloodshot or Ray is with Magic. They're like old and everything, and in this town. So he's talking about these shadow men that are doing this war with the nanites, because that's what turns Ray into.
I love how you keep pushing nanites as I told
No,
you.
because I always said nanities, but it's nanites. And
it's not manatees.
Well, he's trying to look for more things of what's causing this war. So all in all, I really enjoyed this first issue, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next and how he's going to pursue with the Shadow Man and everything. There was too much dialogue information of it, but it was a really interesting read. King Conan issue number 2. Now in King Conan, we know that Conan now has the crown, and the queen in this book, who is introduced in this book, wants the crown because she knows what type of powers it possesses. It has like this powerful thing that can, I think, foresee the future, if I remember correctly. So she wants to look for who has the crown, so that way she could have that power. And Conan is just like trying to guide it with all his might, because he was given to by one of the men. I forgot what his name was actually, but yeah, I'm just hoping that the queen doesn't find it, because if she does, things aren't gonna look good for King Conan in this King Conan comic book. A Conan book that was actually disappointing, Conan The Avenger issue number 22. Oh my god, what the hell was I reading?
Can
anybody
reading Conan The Avenger issue number 22?
Yeah, I was so bored with this book. There was so much dialogue, and it was putting me to sleep. Nothing was talked about Conan. Nothing was said about this issue but boring stuff. Conan just came at the final page of the book.
Hooray.
Hooray! Not a hooray when I read it, so I was shocked, though, because Conan the Avenger I enjoy, but this one, no bueno for that one.
No bueno.
Escape from New York, issue number 14. Now, Snake Plissken is on the run from the cops now, due to the fact that he's a wanted man. Now, he is wanted because of the government issues that happened in the last issue. So what he does is, what I don't like about this issue, the only thing I have to gripe about is that I hope they're not making Snake into a robber. Because now he's trying to...
He is a snake.
But now, what he's doing is that he's in this group, he's trying to take money for some type of stuff that he needs. And you know him, he works for himself. He doesn't really, work for other people. And basically, all I know is that he uses the money to get other things to help him escape from the police and everything. But very epic, I have to admit. This one was a really epic book. Definitely check this out. Just hopefully he's not going down the slope of being a robber and going back to being, who he was. Faith issue number 1. I like this book. I didn't read too much of Harbinger, but if you guys haven't read Harbinger, this is actually a great jump on point to introduce the Faith character. She's this woman superhero, and I like how her character looks over her appearance of her being obese and everything. She doesn't let that bother her. She actually, and she says in the book actually, and I like how she goes by day, and I liked how she was in that one scene where there was these guys that were abusing these dogs, and then she just went in there saying, "Do not do that," and she just knocked them out. There was no tomorrow, and I thought that was great. And she's a really passionate superhero, and I think
she's really nice. I enjoyed her character.
Yeah, I think I'm going to like her character, and I'm definitely going to pick up the next issue. Many people didn't like this, but I liked it. Grim Tales of Terror, Volume 2, Issue number 4. What this talks about is that a sleep lab that 3 people are, a professor and 2 students are working on. And they go to this woman, Maxine, thanks to that redheaded woman. I always forget her name, why, that led them to her. And Maxine, she looks like something, but then I'm like, no, there's something about this character. And sure enough, she keeps dead bodies in the basement. Zombies that haven't had sleep at all. And because they haven't, they eat people. I know, I was saying the same thing you were. But then, so yeah, they were chasing the people. The three characters died. The professor and then the two students who didn't see that coming. Yeah, I think it's best we stay away from the sleep lab. But I'm looking forward to the next issue, though, with the VHS or something like that. But really great issue. Red Agent, issue number 1. This is a jump-on friendly book where if you want to know about Red Riding Hood, she turns into a werewolf, you know about her. What I like is that they're taking a different direction on her character of, instead of joining Hippo Corp, she's actually more of a person that's saying, okay, if I join this group, are you not pulling strings? Like I like how she's like being more on top of things, other than just things getting thrown at her like they have been. So she works with this different government group to go against the Alpha, and then there's a big fight scene between the both of them, and things look kind of for Red Agent. I'm gonna call it Red Agent because that's the name of the book. But yeah, Zenoscope did a really great job with that book. As far as Wonderland issue number 43, in Wonderland issue number 43, now Violet is on the after she got over now the quest of being the Mad Hatter. Now she's back in the world where Callie is, but there's this thing where she gets what's this thing? Like she gets abducted or something by these people who bring her to this cult, and it's more of a Wonderland world. And Callie knows that there was something wrong, so her and Cheshire, did I say it right?
Cheshire.
Damn it. They go to Wonderland to try to save her because this cult that she's joining, about how to join the Wonderland cult, let's just say
made an egg by the time Mike was done with all of his
let's just say it costs an arm and a leg to join. And next is Violet. And that's to be continued. Very graphic though. And now you can stop laying your eggs because now on a big 2 with your book.
Cooking my eggs, not laying my eggs. Dope.
Well, whatever. All new, all different Avengers. Issue number 4.
I think I'm done. I think that cuts are gonna start being made, especially with Marvel, because I've noticed that my pile for Marvel is really, really big. And I wanted to try all the new series, and I'm going to be doing the same thing when DC Rebirth happens for all the characters I'm interested in. But, and I have to agree with what Kat and Jay said here in this with this book. A lot of the characters in this book are very out of character. Miss Marvel is very out of character. I do read her book. I don't review it. I read it. I feel like Miles was sort of in character. Sam was very out of character. I don't know what's going on with Vision. And I didn't like how Jarvis was as well. This was the first mission. It's a step up from where they were in the first story arc. But that random kiss between Thor and Cap and a bunch of other things, I just don't think this is the book for me. I might read the next issue. I'm not going to say I'm not going to try the next issue. I don't think I'm going to be reviewing it, though. I've already dropped, I believe, I've dropped 2 Avenger books already. This one is most likely going to be the 3rd. With the X-Men, I think I'm only reading 2 X-Men books right now, and I'm a bit disappointed. I believe we are going to talk, but there is an X-Men book that I'm a little disappointed with that's in this this episode. But when it comes to Avengers and X-Men, I'm really just, we'll get to X-Men, but when it comes to Avengers, I think I'm going to... I did this when they went through the Heroic Age. I did this when they did Marvel Now, and I did it with all new Marvel Now, and I think I'm doing it again where I think I'm going to sit out of the Avengers thing because they've got Pleasantville coming soon, and that's supposedly going to then lead into Civil War. Maybe I'll jump back in during Civil War, but I think for right now, either I'll read it, just off to not review, or I'm just going to let it go completely because it's not holding me, honestly.
All new Inhumans issue number 3.
This book is pretty good though. I gotta admit that I am enjoying this. The story is very gripping. We find out that the guy was lying. I mean, obviously he had killed certain Inhumans. The mutants that we saw, I believe, an issue or two back, are freed, and this woman, this Inhuman, tries to save them. Two of them she saves. One of them she couldn't, so she kind of killed him in a certain way. Very crazy, and the ending definitely leaves you on a pretty nice cliffhanger. Is it something huge, something to write home to mom about? No, but it was still a very enjoyable read.
Extraordinary X-Men issue number 6?
This is the book I was talking about. Extraordinary X-Men number 6. First of all, Humberto Ramos is not doing the artwork in this book. And it's really more of a segue book. I believe this is a filler in between issues. You got Iceman talking to one of the students who's gay about himself being gay. So essentially he's going to a young boy to talk about himself being gay. And that's weird in and of itself, regardless if it's a gay talk or a straight talk. Talking to a kid about your sexual preferences kind of... Anyway, then Sunspot is found by the X-Men. I didn't like that Storm basically told Logan, if he gets out of line, I need you to kill him. And that's kind of out of character for her. And then also we've got Nightcrawler, who's been traumatized because of what happened with him and Mr. Sinister. And Magic's moment was nice with the little girl whose parents left because they were scared of her because of her mutant abilities. And her and Magic kind of have that bonding moment. I think that was the only saving grace with this entire issue. The rest of it, I mean, Pete, a.k.a. Colossus, takes on 2 students to mentor, basically, which is really cool. That was another really cool thing. But other than that, it's just, there was really nothing big to talk about in this issue. Hopefully next issue will be better. This is one of the 2 X-Men books I get. See, right now, as far as the X-Men go, I'm only reading 2 books. I'm reading All New X-Men and Extraordinary X-Men. Every other book I'm getting is either a solo book, like All New Wolverine, or not X-Men. So, hopefully things will be better. I know there's a few more number 1s coming out, but there will be several cuts in the next month or so, especially getting closer to DC Rebirth in June. There are definitely going to be some major cuts. So if books don't hold me, or if I'm on the fence about them, most likely they will be dropped because there's going to be a lot of new books to try out from DC. But I can understand why a lot of people are very frustrated with Marvel and DC right now, because DC is all about a reboot / relaunch / renumbering. We don't even know what Rebirth is yet. And Marvel is putting out a ton of books. And as I'm reviewing certain books this episode, in 2 weeks, the next issues are coming out for certain books. And that's very, very frustrating, knowing that literally I will be reading the next issue not 1 week from today, and talking about it not even 1 or 2 weeks from today. So I would like a little bit more of a gap, like what they're doing with Amazing now, where it's once a month. Works better for me. But double ups are very frustrating because that's 2 books a month to read and have opinions on. That was my little minor rant.
Old Man Logan issue number 1.
Very disappointing. Old Man Logan, it's like everything that happened during Secret Wars was washed away. It literally takes up right from the Old Man Logan story arc back in the one where they went back in time. I believe it was Wolverine Weapon X, whatever it was. Logan finds himself in the past. It's 2015. I believe his timeline was several years in the future. So he believes he's got a second chance now. What he doesn't realize, he's now on Marvel Prime, or whatever they're calling the new universe, because it's not 616 anymore. He was saved during Secret Wars, but apparently certain people don't remember that. So now he's back, and what he's going to do is he's going to create a hit list. The Butcher, Bruce Banner, the Hulk, Mysterio, and Red Skull. And he's going to eliminate them before the fall of humanity. The thing is, Old Man Logan's universe was an alternate universe. I believe Old Man Logan believes he's in his past when he's really not, because he's already dead. The Wolverine from the present is already dead unless they bring him back. So it's kind of weird. He deals with the Butcher in this book. It was very... Old Man Logan, compared to what we're seeing in Extraordinary X-Men, is a very cold individual. I don't know, maybe Old Man Logan takes place 8 months before, where All New X-Men takes place 8 months after Secret Wars. Maybe the Old Man Logan first story arc literally is in those first 8 months. And obviously he can't kill Bruce, because Bruce survives. He's not going to be able... Maybe Mysterio, he's already gotten rid of the Butcher. And Red Skull Red Skull, let's not forget, is still merged with Professor Xavier's brain. That's gonna. I don't know. I'm very iffy, and the artwork is very dark. I was hoping that the artwork would be a little bit brighter by the time we got to the ongoing. So, hopefully things will get better for the series. But it was not. It was a very underwhelming first issue.
Venom Space Knight, issue number 3.
I really enjoyed the artwork here. Flash had to end up leaving the symbiote behind on this mission because the planet he was going to was a fire and lava planet. So as not to hurt the symbiote, he ends up wearing a spacesuit. High action, awesome story. The most important factor of this issue, though, I believe happens on the last page, where we find out that the symbiote, now that it's been cleansed, has a mind of its own. And we find out that it was piloting the ship while 803 was working on legs for Flash while he's outside of the symbiote. And I love how it ends with the symbiote going to Flash, we need to talk. And I was like, whoa. Like, whoa. So I'm very excited for the next issue. This was a very nice transition issue. There are still those people chasing after Venom. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this story is going. Obviously, Venom is... If you've read Venom in the 90s and... let's say you went into a coma in the 90s and you woke up now, this is a very, very, very different path for Venom. As a matter of fact, it's not, as we know, it's not even Eddie Brock anymore, which I'm sure Mike will get into Carnage with Eddie Brock. So a lot's changed for Venom over the years, and I'm really feeling this series. I'm really enjoying it.
Batman and Robin Eternal, issue number 17.
I really like this one. The Orphan, we find out in the past that Batman, spoiler here, kind of, even though the next issue came out already, he didn't end up killing those parents. That he staged the whole thing to bring Mother down. There was a huge fight. Unfortunately, Mother got away, or Mother, like, where the flashback ends is where Mother wants Batman killed. Obviously, she doesn't succeed because Batman makes it into the future, where Endgame apparently is still going on, or Endgame just happened. Batman and Robin Eternal apparently happens right before the story arc with Mr. Bloom, which is going on right now. But anyway, Dick tries to get information out of the Orphan about Batman, which that's where we get the flashback. We find out though that there is somebody in Metropolis who lost their parents that night because they were going to become Batman's new ward, and I'm almost 99% sure it's Tim, because his parents are still alive and he has them under complete protection to make sure that they don't get killed. But at the same time, it might be Jason as well. So I don't know. I'm very skeptical, and it definitely leaves you wondering who that child or who the person was that Mother was chasing after. And then there is a little bit of a tidbit for Harper at the end of this book. It turns out that Cassandra might have been sent to kill somebody very close to Harper, and we find that out towards the end of this issue as well. Really great build-up. I'm enjoying this weekly series. One series a year isn't that bad, especially if it's one character, because you can choose whether or not to get it. Batman Eternal was the strongest last year out of the 3, so I'm very happy that Batman and Robin Eternal is as strong, if not a little bit stronger than Batman Eternal. It's one story instead of like 3 different stories that keep interchanging, and the artwork has been consecutive for Batman and Robin Eternal, which is another plus.
Grayson, issue number 16.
Dick is taking down Spiral, and I think this is going to be how Grayson ends and Nightwing might begin during DC Rebirth, because I believe that it's rumored Grayson's going to be ending because they might be starting up a Nightwing series again, which I am 100% behind that, number one. But anyway, Dick and I believe his name is Tiger, are taking down agents one by one. First, they're taking them, they're foiling their mission, and then they're basically taking them in. So as the story's going on, you got a moment where Dick's singing a spy song, and you get like a montage of them taking out more and more agents. Helena, however, is getting very desperate because she knows Dick is getting close to Spiral, and she enlists a group of people that some of them actually shocked me that they're working with Spiral. But then we find out that Dick is allying himself with somebody whom I'm not going to spoil till the next issue, and he's going to be handing Spiral literally over to this person, and it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes.
Alright, the next 2 books are mine.
We're done? Okay, good. I can drink.
Yeah, Spider-Woman, issue number 3. So, with her being, pregnant, she has to get past, she found out that she's in a black hole, So now she's trying, along with the other pregnant women, to get out of all of what's going on. So she teams up with Captain Marvel, is it? I think.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. Yeah, so she uses Captain Marvel.
Sorry. Captain Marvel.
Marvel to help, so that way she can help out with, where to go and, the whole facility of the hospital and whatnot. And it's a really adventurous book. There's one part where she's helping this little alien before the other aliens capture him to make him a slave. Her water breaks.
Ba-dum-ps.
Right in the middle where the aliens are right there. How she is going to get out of it,
I'm very interested to find out.
Yeah, and like Jay said, if we heard Cat, my baby kicked.
That's right.
I
you
heard
can show the cover to your last book, and then you can come over here so I don't feel like I'm just sitting here going...
All right. Carnage issue number 4. And I'm coming right now. So in Carnage
Speaking of Eddie Brock,
what's going on with him? Well, we find out that he gets to Manuel's head to, turn him into the toxin. But before we get into that, we found out that Gleason was going to give Carnage, beyond his wildest dreams and everything, basically. And it was just like this old church with a priest that talks about, the Red Slayer, but we find that out a little bit more as the issue continues. But like I said, A. Brock gets to Manuel's head and just tells her, it's time to release Toxin, because Toxin eliminates symbiotes, not humans. Because when he was Venom, he attacked the humans, but as Toxin, he can attack the symbiotes. Wasn't so keen about the costume. Because I was expecting, like red and everything. Seeing this one, I wasn't too on. But it looks a little bit okay. Not bad or really good, just okay. And, so as Carnage was known as the Red Slayer, meaning that if he kills people, his name lives on in immortality. So he kills them and makes them his followers. Red Carnage symbiote followers. And right when Toxin was at the door, Carnage comes out, to be continued. What a cliffhanger. I knew Toxin was going to happen eventually, but they left us on a huge cliffhanger, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the fight is going to be now that all this happened.
All right, let's get into some physical books. Now, last month, I reviewed this issue number 1. Now, this issue, which is issue number 2...
Yes, Street Fighter Unlimited, issue number 2.
It's its own story. Now, again, this time we actually got the connecting cover. Unfortunately, for issue 3, we won't be getting the connecting cover either because apparently that cover did not come out next week and we had to order it. So,
but I decided to take a look at this issue anyway. And I don't know, something tells me what the Lord Gill statement, I've seen this somewhere
Street
before.
Fighter, I forgot which one.
In that volume book, right?
Yes, he was.
Because I remember him saying, with all hail Lord Gill and yada yada.
Yeah.
So what this book is about is that Guile and Cammy, along with Ken, want to find out something about the Shadaloo. Like who's sharing the Shadaloo with other people or the intel. And there's a cult called the Secret Society. Mm-hmm. So with Ken, their first person that they're going to meet is Balrog. And let me tell you something. The artwork's great, by the way. Ken gets, to Balrog, saying, I'm your new boss, and I'm controlling everything now, and he doesn't take it so kindly, and they just have, this huge fight scene.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's just one thing that set Ken to be, really just angry, and he almost died, actually, Balrog, but luckily for Cammy, saving him from outside the window, he actually talked and said that, if you want to know more about the Secret Society, you would have to talk to Vega in Spain. So, Ken and Vega don't really get along that well from what I remember.
No.
And, yeah. And there's a little thing with Lord Gill in the end where he finds out from Kulan...
about Kunlun, about,
the Ryu and Akuma, was it? Yeah, of that fight. Then we get a little bit of a couple of misfits where these two characters, I don't really remember what their names are.
I think they're going to be part of the new game, and they were in other games before. I don't remember them off name wise off the top of my head.
But this is the artwork.
Artwork in this book's gorgeous. It's the same artwork that's been in every single Street Fighter book from Udon, and it's really great.
Yeah, so it was Effie and this person with tattoos. I can't remember what his name is, and they're called Team Necro. Are they called? Yeah, Team Necro. And, that guy doesn't like when they push that little girl around. But, really awesome issue. Definitely for Street Fighter fans, you'll be definitely picking up this issue.
And Street Fighter 5 actually comes out this month.
Oh, yeah, the video game. Yeah, that's right. So, I'll be definitely getting that game and hopefully get to it on Frontline Gaming Zone. Your book.
Chew issue number 54. I feel like, Agent Cho is on his own mission. Savoy feels now, because of the last issue where basically Cho shot him down, he's like, you know what? We could have done amazing things together. We could have been great together. But since you don't want to work with me, I'm going to have to do something really, really bad. And what happens now is all on Cho, not on him. And the girlfriend is trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future. She keeps seeing that the world is going to explode. So she decides to look at it through the girlfriend's part. And the girlfriend's part kind of ends before the world ends because the girlfriend dies. Spoiler here, but not really, because in the last story arc we found out about this. But Savoy, Agent Cho is dealing with a small problem, but that's really not the focal point of the book. Focal point and the real importance of the book is Savoy is the one that ended up killing Amelia, and when Cho gets to the apartment and sees her dead, obviously the last part or the next issue is going to definitely involve a lot more of Savoy. And then after that, this will be issue 55. There are only 4 more, well actually 5 because you got to count 60 as well. There will only be 5 more issues to go before the grand finale of Chew. Now, next month, we should be getting... Well, no, this is for January, so we're in February. This month, we should be getting the last part to this. If Chew... I don't know, but I'm making a guess that Chew will be going on a bit of a vacation to set up for the last story arc. Not 100% sure, but hopefully they do so. It kind of pushes it towards the end of the year, the ending. Saga issue 33 really didn't focus on Marco, his wife, or Hazel, or anybody really. It focused on the reporters that were chasing them around from a story arc 1 and 2 mostly. And they got back on the case. They find out about Marco, and they go and question this girl that we saw, the one that he was going to go cheat with, or that wanted to be with him because she didn't like the way his wife was treating him, but in the end he ended up leaving her and taking her father's shield and her grandfather's shield and sword, and he called to apologize and say that he'll bring it back as soon as he can. I'm not talking about the stuff that we see in it, but we do actually finally see again, I believe it's the Brand? Was he the Brand? I can't remember because he had a sister too. Or was it the Mark? I don't remember, but he got super heavy. Remember, he was saved by the little girl, and it looks like Lion Cat's not with him anymore, but he's gained a bunch of weight, and he has his sister's partner now, and he basically enlists the reporters to work for him, because I guess he's still looking for Marco and everybody as well, because he was the one that was chasing after them to get the hit. So it's going to be really interesting to see where things go with Saga. Hopefully next time we'll get more on the main characters and not really the reporters that really didn't matter. I feel like this was kind of one of those in the between issues, but we got to see either the Brand or the something. I hate when I make those mistakes. Go ahead.
Really happy to see this. Ghostbusters International, issue number 1. This book was amazing.
Egon is sidelined, though.
Well, yeah, Egon is sidelined, but we'll get to that. But the reason why Egon is sidelined, might as well get to it, is because they're fighting off against this ghost, And with its demonic powers, it spit acid on Egon's leg with amazing artwork. And that's going to leave him out of action for probably a while.
Hate Walter Peck.
Oh, that's not Walter Peck.
Well, I know.
Yeah, but I'll
up.
get to that. So after they were talking to this customer that refused to pay the bill about their services and everything, this new guy, Erlen Vinter, Erlen Vinter comes in and just says, "Oh, it's no problem at all. You know, like perhaps we should meet up sometime and all this other stuff." Like he was being like, you know, and he reminded me of Walter Peck for some reason. Then we get a little bit of Janine, where a friend of hers is going to help her with all the paperwork she has. And we have Miss Giffen that comes to meet with, Griffin actually, that meets with Egon. And I don't know about you, but I see a good chemistry. And then in comes Walter Peck.
Cannot stand Walter Peck.
I can't stand that pencil neck either of Walter Peck. He looks like a pencil neck, doesn't he? So him and Erling are actually working side by side, and here's a spoiler right here. Winter wants to buy the Ghostbusters.
They could say no, probably.
I don't know about that one.
That was crazy. I was very crazy.
I did not expect him to say, "I want to buy the Ghostbusters."
Oh, I did.
I really did not expect that. But oh boy, who are you gonna call for a situation like that? But here you go. Definitely gonna get the next issue.
Book of the week, and last book of the month. So book of the month, TMNT issue 54. This focuses on Mikey, not the other turtles, not Splinter. Mikey finds out that old Hob is saving all of the ammunition he's taking from all the people that the Mutanimals are fighting against. But it turns out Hun is guarding the weaponry and actually selling it back to the humans. Huge fight between Hun and Mikey breaks out. And even when old Hob tells him, to back down, he doesn't, because Hun has a lot of bad blood with the turtles. The good news is the Mutanimals decide to follow after Mikey to see what's going on with Hob, and you get a huge fight between Slash and Hun, and it turns out Slash is stronger than Hun, but Slash kind of lost his mind a little bit. But then finally the secrets are out. Old Hob's secrets are out. And the Mutanimals aren't too happy. Slash actually, here's a spoiler, quits. Slash basically leaves. And the others say, no more secrets or else we're going to leave. And as Mikey's leaving, Old Hob says, don't think I'll forget this. And I don't forgive as well. Slash was right that I did welcome a snake into the den, but it wasn't Hun. It was you. So Mikey, his family is running the Foot Clan, so he doesn't belong there. He didn't belong with Old Hob and the Mutanimals, so he decides he's going to go back to the old lair and, create a bachelor pad. So he asks Slash to join him, and Slash is like, I've got to go find myself somewhere else. I've got to go, really find myself. So Mikey is basically left alone, and this is the character, this is the turtle that yearns for love all the time, and I'm very surprised on Splinter that Splinter is not even attempting to help Mikey. So I'm hoping that at some point maybe we'll have some type of resolution between Mikey and the other turtles. Ironically, my last 3 books, and Mike has one more in between 2, all involve Superman. JLA issue number 7 involves Rao. Superman is now a prisoner of Rao. Wonder Woman and Aquaman are on Olympus because of what happened in Atlanta, in Atlantis. Atlanta, Georgia. No, Atlantis. And Themyscira, or whatever's going on, and Olympus, I think, not Themyscira, I think it was Olympus.
I don't know.
I don't remember either. Anyway, Batman and Vic are trying to figure out a way to reverse engineer what Rao's rays are doing to people. And Rao, basically, we find out everything about Rao in this issue. And Superman makes a desperate attempt to stop Rao. And we also get a little bit in the past with Green Lantern where we get another piece of the puzzle answered. Flash and the Infinity Corps is getting a little bit of a shake-up. Turns out something's going on with the timeline. And that's really basically what's going on in JLA. I don't know, this story arc is but I guess it won't matter because once this story arc's over, we're going into DC Rebirth. So Obviously, they're going to be continuing JLA because this was not on the list of cancellations, but it's going to get a new #1 and possibly a new direction. And we'll see if we don't even know what's going on, so I can't even make predictions about books yet. This is a book that's actually rumored to be doubling up, starting with Rebirth, and that's Superman. This is issue 48. Superman finds out that basically the reason why he's not getting his powers back are because he has dead cells on top of his healthy cells. And because the dead cells are there, he's unable to absorb solar energy, thus not have his superpowers. So what can help destroy his cells so that he can, the healthy cells can come through? Kryptonite. Who does he go to for help? Trevor. Colonel Steve Trevor. And we find out about...
Steve Trevor?
Yes, sir.
Huh.
And we find out that Horderroot and gets his brother, and his brother becomes Puzzler, who basically does exactly what Horderroot did to his human self, and he goes after Steve Trevor because it's his fault that he was in prison, yada yada. He wants his revenge, and it's also at the same time where Clark is attempting to kill off the dead cells in his body with kryptonite, and the rest of the book is him trying to get to the kryptonite, Puzzler kind of preventing it, and then finally we get the what do you call it, the stone, oh god,
what,
the one with the chair that we always see, Game of Thrones moment where he's literally sitting on a throne of kryptonite. I really like the way kryptonite is. I wish they would make more kryptonite props. I really do. I love kryptonite as far as replica wise. I have the kryptonite from the JLA trophy room. I have several others. I wish DC would make more kryptonite props. I really do. I really enjoy kryptonite props just because of the way they look. They glow and everything. I'm hoping one day they'll do more kryptonite. It's a random thing. I'm just throwing it out there.
All right, this is my last book and also book of the week. He-Man: The Eternity War, issue number 14. It's He-Man versus Skeletor, and we learn a lot about Skeletor, where he can actually summon spirits through space and time, actually, thanks to the new scepter and everything. And we also have Teela, who joins in action and failing to beat Evelyn. We have She-Ra, who comes back in action to fight the spirit of Hordak. And I want to just show some great artwork. We have Man-at-Arms that makes a sacrifice for Teela to be alive again and no more being the goddess of that. So here's some awesome artwork. So He-Man and Skeletor go at each other, and there's just this one picture that I like that both He-Man and She-Ra do together, just saying, we have the power. That now raises Castle Grayskull again, and we see Teela turning back to normal again. But the question is, what happens now? And with 2 issues left, I really can't wait to see how this is going to...
Obviously, it's going to lead into another story.
I thought the next issue was going to be the last issue.
It's a possibility. I might be wrong.
I don't know, but... I really hate to see this go because it's such an awesome
I'm
book.
sure it'll come back during DC Reboot.
As a He-Man, maybe, but let's hope...
Or Rebirth. I call it Reboot, but it's
Let's
Rebirth.
hope I enjoy it. And this is your last book.
My last book and my favorite book out of the big 2, Lois and Clark, issue number 4. We get a great flashback where it's a couple of years back, and Lois and Clark are celebrating their anniversary by visiting Metropolis. And I love how they're making their compare and contrast. Clark finds the one thing that's the same in both the old Metropolis and the new DCU's Metropolis, and it's amazing how he finds the littlest thing to find a connection with. And Lois is making, this is a darker universe, this is this universe, that universe. She even buys John a Superman symbol where even Clark kind of says, I don't like that symbol, I like mine better.
Wow.
And then later Lois actually makes him his own suit, and we get the origin of the black and silver suit.
Wait a minute, wasn't the black and silver suit when he came back from the dead? The silver thing?
Sort of, but this is a different suit.
Oh.
Then we get back to the present where Lois is bringing her book to her her consultant, and we find out that Inner Gang got involved, and Jonathan's starting to, or Little John is starting to put things together between that world Superman and his father, I think. He's got a lot of his father and mother in him. I gotta agree with Clark, with Jay, that he's very much like his mom and his dad. And Inner Gang is now chasing after Lois and John, but Clark can't come to the rescue because he's too busy fighting off against Blank. And Blank basically has control over Handsaw right now, and Handsaw apparently has the same abilities that he did in Clark's in the old DC universe, and he's basically using him as a puppet. They take Superman out, and now they're heading to California. What's in California? Who knows? And then again, we get another page setting up for these beings in space coming towards Earth. Now, we all know that this series is going to be ending soon. I'm very upset to see it go, and I'm hoping that if it's true that Rebirth is going to be a mix of old and new DC Universe, that we will continue getting Lois and Clark, maybe in Man of Steel, maybe somewhere else, because I do not want to see this couple. I do not want to see this book end. And if that's what they're aiming to do is, get rid of all the old and just focus on the new, I don't know where I'm going to be after DC Comic Rebirth. When we definitively know what's going on, you guys are going to definitively know how much or how little of DC I will be getting.
All right.
Definitively. Obviously, I'll try as much as I can because that's just what we do here, and that's what we do for you guys on this review. But if they don't give a little bit back to the older readers, it's going to be very hard for me to say that I'm going to be getting a lot more than what I originally was.
That says a lot.
So hopefully we're getting a mixture of the two DC universes, or else there's going to be I'm definitely going to be dropping off a lot of books, regardless who's writing it, regardless what it's about. Superman, like I said to you guys, I'll weather the storm, whether it takes 100 years or until I die. So I'll be holding on to Superman, but that doesn't mean I have to pick up every other book that comes out of DC. And Marvel, with your double ups, I'm being honest with you guys, I'm really going to be cutting back on you guys because you are just, it's between DC and their constant changing and rebooting or relaunching or renumbering, and Marvel and their constant renumbering, and they're just flooding the market. It's very easy now for comic collectors to get jaded. It's very easy for comic collectors to be overwhelmed. And it definitely, I'm almost positive, it's a definite reason to cause a lot of collectors to stop, or readers to stop reading a lot of that stuff. And that's why a lot of people are going to the indies, which God bless the independent companies, every single one of them, whether they be like a very well-known company or a lower indie company that makes really great, indie companies in general makes great books. So thank God for all of you independent companies. Whether you have a bigger independent name or a smaller independent name, you are all equally awesome. And hopefully the big two will, wake up and smell the coffee, because it's very overwhelming or very
I don't
just
know if that's
too
gonna
much.
happen anytime soon.
I just feel like we're getting too much from Marvel and DC now, and it's like there's a phrase that I learned in health class. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. Keep it simple. How could you forget something like that?
Well, I didn't.
That is a slogan that DC and Marvel need to work with. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Because you guys are doing way too much, or you're doing way too many events, or you're doing way too much renumbering, or way too much renumbering, re-releasing, and rebooting, and restarting. That it's just too much for us collectors. And to be honest with you guys, I love comics. There'll always be a Dark Avenger comic review. But I'm really heavy on the independent books now. Not saying there will never be a big two book in my reviews, because obviously Superman always will be, and several Marvel books always, like Spider-Man, will be. But I do think the numbers are going to dwindle in 2016. I'm enjoying doing a lot of the other things on this channel, and obviously this is kind of a segue into the live show this Friday, which we'll talk more about. But I honestly believe that's why this channel is slowly segueing into other things, because as much as I love comic books, and as much as this channel grew through the comic reviews, I'm enjoying doing a lot of other things on this channel as well, and it's a lot of enjoyment, and it's less work feeling and more, I feel like I'm having fun again doing comics and other things. So I have some other things that'll help overshadow all the craziness that's going on, because Marvel and DC are really the heavy stuff that we are getting when it comes to these comic reviews, and they're really the reason why things are very frustrating, I think, for myself and for Michael, because it's like constant relaunch, event, reboot, renumbering, and it's like enough is enough. And hopefully with DC Rebirth we'll get what we want from DC, and that'll be enough from DC. And with Marvel, hopefully after Civil War they'll chill back a bit, but I'm already hearing rumors that there's going to be an event that follows almost directly after that. No, Dead No More will be following right after that, but that might be a self-contained event. So hopefully big events will shrink from Marvel for the rest of the year because it's just too much. And this is where, as a reader, you guys, and as collectors and readers and reviewers, we have to sit down and actually start to think, what do we want to keep and what do we want to let go, regardless of who's on the book, what's holding us and what isn't, because editorial has a lot of, sticky fingers in the books now too. So creators can't create what they want because they have to follow guidelines. For example, Mark Waid did an amazing Daredevil run, but I just can't get into all new, all different Avengers, and that's Mark Waid. Why? Because there's guidelines. There's events that they're going to be following in all new, all different Avengers. And that's why I think Mark Waid is getting a disservice, because Mark Waid, I've never truly disliked and much of his work. There were a few things here or there that I kind of disagreed with, but Daredevil was amazing, 5-star series, and now all new, all different Avengers. I feel like I'm on the brink of just not reading anymore at all. And same writer, so
yep.
I don't know. But anyway, that's it for this review. That's it for the ranting. There'll be more on Friday on Dark Avenger Live. So if you guys want to continue this conversation, you could let me know or remind me in the live stream comments.
Yep, I'll go behind the camera.
That's right. Also, I'm trying to think of if there's any other news. There was something I wanted to make mention of, but it's not hitting me right now. So, mail time should be this Friday. Hopefully we get our books on Friday as well, or at least Saturday, and we'll have another haul video. We did get the books from 2 weeks ago. I do want to report that we got it the day after we did the very next morning. We got the books from 2 weeks ago. Obviously not going to do a haul with those books, but I will show off the one of the hardcover books that I got on the live show this Friday. So at least I'll show one thing off. And you guys saw we got Street Fighter, so that's everything. That's important. Everything else we review digitally. So hopefully everything will be on time. Hopefully there'll be a Chris and Brand show soon. I'm hoping to get a book update video out for you guys, and I'm hoping to also get finish up Outside the Pages once and for all. We got some really big things coming. We'll talk more about it on Friday. So till then, guys, let us know what you thought of any of the books we talked about here in the comments below. Links are in the description below. Connected stuff here. Frontline, Zone 4, Frontline Gaming Zone, Last Ember Press. Check them out when you get the chance. And until next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Later, everybody.